Welcome back, everybody. Zoned in Media. Causeway Street Zone today. Not good. Not good night for the Boston Celtics and the
Causeway
Boston
cold shots.
Bruins. I like Causeway cold shots. It is not a good day for us today. We're gonna start with the Celtics, who just coughed it up in OT to the Charlotte Hornets, a game that you really should have won, improved to 12-2, but now it's 11-3. How we feeling?
Well, since I was gonna watch it, and then at the last second I was just like, whatever. Really wouldn't have mattered because it was a bad decision either way if you watch either game. But I mean, you shouldn't even, with how good this team is right now, you shouldn't even get to OT against the Hornets, in my opinion. But it just sounds. We were looking over the stats, and like I said, I didn't watch it, so I mean, it just sounds like it was bad basketball. We were 18 for 23 for free throws, 16 of 50 from three, which is horrible. I mean, if you're taking 50 3-pointers, you should be making at least 30 of them, if not more. But like if you're missing 5 free throws, there's 5 points right there. That's not good. They lost by 3, so I mean there's the win by 2. This is there's third game in overtime or second game in overtime.
Minnesota game.
Philly.
Brooklyn. Oh, was it Philly?
Yeah, it was Philly. They
lost. They 0-3.
No, they didn't lose it.
But I don't think they've.
Yeah, I don't think they've won in OT.
So they've lost all 3 games.
They can't finish right now. I don't know if they just don't like.
That has to do with depth.
I don't know if they just don't like good playing in close games, or if it's bad coaching. But I mean, they need to figure it out in OT. Otherwise, this is going to be a long season if they keep getting pushed to OT.
I mean, I'm just looking at like the minute totals for everybody. I mean, there's no reason that I know Derek White and Al Horford are out, but there's no reason why O'Shea Brissett should be playing 17 minutes. I mean, in a close game, there's no way that he should be playing that many minutes. I'm looking at the shooting numbers. Tatum had a good game. Drew Holiday had a decent game, and then Peyton Pritchard obviously was keeping them in the game at the end. I mean, everyone else, like Porzingis shot 5 of 14. Jaylen Brown, Mr. Disappear.
Yeah.
I mean, he needs to step up. He's making $60 million a year. Yeah, I think it's starting next year. I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of money and a ridiculous contract that
for a guy that can't handle the ball.
I mean, it's just it wasn't even the turnovers last night. It was the end of the game. He takes a pull-up 3. There's so many better options out there. I mean, it's Tatum's night. Why is Jaylen Brown thinking that he should shoot that shot? I mean, you're like 1 of 15, 1 of 16 from 3 the last 2 games. Like, it's just he goes through these stretches where he is a top 20 player, but some nights it doesn't look like it. Some nights he's unsure that he should shoot. Some nights he shoots too much. It's frustrating to look at it.
When I look at this team, I point to the coach first.
Yes.
If you have the nerve to take 50 3-pointers in a game, as Tom said, you have to hit at least 30 of them. If you're gonna just keep shooting it, then you have to at least be making the shots. With this coach, he's so stuck in his ways. Joey Mazzulla. He wants to prove that his philosophy of 3-point attempts is how you win a championship, as opposed to shooting percentage, as opposed to playing defense, moving the ball. If your 3-pointer isn't hitting, find another way to win. I always say it. Find another. Start inside, work your way out.
You don't have Steph Curry. Like, you cannot. The Golden State is the one exception to it. They have 2 of the greatest shooters of all time, plus Durant when they had him.
Yeah,
that's different. That is a much different circumstance. Tatum's a good shooter. He's nowhere close to Steph Curry. Nobody is.
Yeah.
I look at this 2 ways. There's 2 ways I look at this. This is just the hockey mindset for me. But before I get into that side of it, it's almost like we had Marcus Smart back on the court last night with the 50 3-pointer attempts. But like it wouldn't be as aggravating if they got something out of winning or losing in OT like you do in hockey. Like, yeah, it's still aggravating that you lose in OT in hockey, but at least you get a point out of it. In basketball, you get nothing. Like,
you get a loss.
You get a loss,
Yeah.
and it affects your record.
Yep.
You need to win games in OT, especially against teams like Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, you let LaMelo Ball go off too, which was their best player. You let
Still didn't get as many points as Tatum.
two scumbags that are on their team. You have to stop.
For real. No, but like, there's so many other ways, especially with this team. They play such an elementary style of just shooting, but they have Kristaps Porzingis with an amazing post game. Drew Holiday's the best post guard I've seen in a long time. You can work your way on the block and then work your way out. They have great passers. I mean, Derek White, of course, they're missing him. With Derek White out, Jaylen Brown, like, where are you? Jaylen Brown should be number 2 on this team already, but when Derek White's on the team, he really is the number 2 option right now. I mean, with Kristaps Porzingis, of course, but Porzingis was having a bad night. He's been great all season. He's not going to be great every game. I expect Jaylen Brown to step up. He's been cold for a while.
I mean, these last 2 games, you've had to rely on Sam Hauser and what's his name, Peyton Pritchard, to have like 5 and I think 6 threes, respective. I mean, you can't rely. You can rely on those guys to give you good minutes. You can't rely on them to give you 15 to 20 points a night.
They need to be careful because teams like Charlotte are going to start exposing them, and good teams like Philly and Milwaukee are going to start using that to win games. And if they don't figure it out, I mean, you got to stop taking the threes, Joe. You got to stop having them take threes. They're such a good ball-moving team. Like, when they're playing against the good teams, they're moving the ball around, they're playing good defense, and they're making good shots. But if you're going to keep hucking up 50, 60 threes a game against teams like Charlotte, teams are going to start pushing them to the outside and forcing them to take threes.
I just have one more point. Mike D'Antoni, longtime coach, loved threes. Used to take, like, I think 50 to 70 a game. Did that strategy ever win? No. They played fast.
It always crumbled in the postseason.
It always crumbled in the playoffs. Harden, it was
amazing numbers.
It was Harden scored 36 points a game. Used to shoot 23s a game, but in the playoffs he got tired. The defense was lacking. That's the type of strategy that he's implementing, Joe. And it's just not going to work. I know it's not going to. Not against the Milwaukee, Philly, teams like that. It might work against the old Bucks with Mike Budenholzer, who would give you open threes for whatever reason.
Yep.
But not this Bucks team.
Yeah. The Celtics are trying to imitate the Rockets, which is just a discount version of the Warriors. No one can do it but Golden State. They have Steph Curry. That's why they can do that. The Celtics made the finals 2 years ago off of their defense.
Yeah.
And then they upgraded their defense when they got Drew Holiday. Like, I know Marcus Smart, and they got Kristaps Porzingis, a big that can stay healthy, that can space the floor for them on the other side, but still a really good rim protector. Robert Williams, more of a help defender. I think they have the potential to be the best defensive team in the league, and they could neutralize LaMelo Ball and make him useless, and force Brandon Miller, a rookie, to try to take the wheels.
I was just going to see who the top team is actually for.
Yeah, on defense. That's a good idea, because I think it's just they have the ability. They're just so stubborn when it comes to three-point attempts. This is the team that I want to win the championship. I just got to let them know last night was unacceptable. You got to beat the Charlotte Hornets. Matt's going to look up the defensive ratings right now. I think the Celtics have the makeup to be the best defensive team, but right now they're just not. They're not playing hard. Right now they just want to shoot, and if their threes aren't going in, it's just a void.
So the best scoring defenses, the Knicks are the best. The Celtics are third right now.
Okay.
So the Celtics.
I'm not
are
surprised
third
about
right
the
now.
Knicks.
The Knicks have a great defensive coach.
They should be.
The Timberwolves are second, which shocks me because I know you have Rudy Gobert. That's what I was trying to think of. Rudy Gobert, but like Cat's not good defensively, and so isn't Anthony Edwards. Is just a great player.
Well, the game against the Celtics probably pushed them in that direction.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that's how it shows you. And then who's the other team? I think I saw the Nuggets are 6th in scoring defense, so they're another good team.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the Celtics are at 3. It's based off talent alone, but they really, if they click in and lock in, they should be number 1.
absolutely.
Yep. No, they should be number 1 right now, honestly.
The Rockets with Ime Udoka is 5th right now, and that is a bad team.
Ime Udoka.
Yep.
All I'm saying, that's all you have to say. Look at the Rockets right now.
Yep.
They're killing it. And that was my guy. He's gone. Now we got Discount Mike.
Yeah, Scott Silas was a terrible coach. Didn't have any control of it. Ime Udoka comes in, fifth best defense in the league.
They just lost Kevin Porter Jr. because of domestic.
Yeah.
Know?
The terrible team.
They lost their best player.
Bunch of kids that just don't care.
They picked up Fred Van Fleet and Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, and I mean now they're just a top 5 defensive team,
which is wild.
Yeah,
that is wild.
The coach.
So props to the Rockets. Hopefully the Celtics can turn it around. They got Milwaukee tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Big time game. I hope they show up for it. This team has a
big time Causeway games
issue of stepping down a competition. So
yep.
We'll see if they step up for Milwaukee.
I like it.
We'll move into the Boston Bruins, who just had a tough overtime loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning, but as Tom said, still get a point out of it, so not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really complain too much because we got a point out of it. You still get something, so it still improves your chances of getting into the playoffs. But it was a bad game. First period, great. Started off great, looked good. Kind of a tough goal given up by Swayman for Tampa to go up 1-0. But then we came back, tied it. And then second period came along, and it was just like they did not want to play anymore. A lot of penalties, but they were still able to hang into the game. Only held Tampa to that 1 goal. They came out of the second down 2-1, went into the third, and they were pushing. They tied it. Tampa went up again, 3-2, and then we came back and went up 4-3. And then a power play at the end of the game, killed it. Forced the game to overtime. Tampa was able to get a goal with under 10 seconds left. I think it was under even 5. And they just gave up when it came to overtime. Bad defense. They were in the middle of a change actually when Tampa scored, which is always the killer. Tampa was able to get the puck up quick, go down into the offensive zone, catch the Bruins off guard, and were able to score. The penalties killed us. And I was talking to Matt last night after the game, and I was saying that if McAvoy gets a penalty, they usually kind of fall apart. I don't know why. It always seems to be when McAvoy gets a penalty, not anybody else. I mean, maybe he should have the C on his chest this year. I don't know. Yeah. But it's a pattern that I've noticed since last season and half the season before, where he's gone in the box and then they've just kind of fallen apart. Obviously, they were lucky to have Bergeron on the team last season and the season before, so that kind of helped. But now without Bergeron, it's like they don't have that piece anymore. So they got to look. I think once Lehigh has a season under his belt, it shouldn't be as too much of an issue. I think he would be able to take that kind of role-ish. Lindholm's having a rough season so far. He's another guy that should be kind of that piece where if McAvoy goes into the box, he should be another guy that steps up. But it was a bad game defensively, bad game penalty-wise, and I think Swayman was kind of thrown off too, starting 2 games in a row, which kind of goes back to the conversation that we've had, where it's like, well, these guys wouldn't be able to handle, a more bulk of games season. So he looked good through 2 periods, and then the defense fell apart, and then he kind of fell apart in the third, and that's kind of what blew the game.
I would just say that it was kind of odd. I was fully expecting Allmark to play, But I'm guessing logically that means that Allmark's going to play tomorrow against Florida, and then Saturday against the Rangers. So I'm guessing that's the way it's going to go. But I mean, who knows? I don't know if they're trying to make Swayman the number one starter, if they're trying to see if that's what's going to happen. I was just looking. I mean, six penalties that the Bruins take. I mean, that's just against a good against a good power play. I mean, that's not what you can do. That's not how you have to win games. I feel like the last few years there's been penalty problems the entire year. And I feel like they're always 1, 2, or 3 in penalties taken, but they're always low on the penalties drawn. So I don't know if that's a way that they play. They play more back. They don't really crash the net. I was also looking to see the shots on net, 46-27. I mean, that was just absolutely just. I've never seen a Bruins team really give up 46 shots in a game. I mean, they're so good defensively, and their rush defense was just so bad last night that I couldn't believe that I was watching the defensively minded Boston Bruins, and it was a sight to see something where teams just freely going through the neutral zone, letting them get rushes and just getting good shot opportunities. It's not what I'm used to seeing from the Bruins at all.
Yeah, no, Tampa wore Swayman down. You could tell. Definitely not a great look to be starting 2 games in a row and not be able to have the energy to keep up with it. Again, Tampa, we said yesterday, Tampa's a tough offense, but they're having goalie issues right now. Vasilevsky's out. It should be 27 shots against their 46 isn't great. You should be looking to get at least 30 shots a game against a goalie like that. But Tampa played well defensively. I think the other thing too, with Swayman starting last night, I think Monty is thinking with the so they played 2 games against Detroit. We got Detroit on Friday. Swayman did better against Detroit than Allmark did, so I think that might be another mindset. But also, Florida's more of a competition right now. I think that's the other thing. So Allmark, obviously, in the minds of most Bruins fans, I'd say, is the better goalie to go up against a team like Florida and the Rangers. Not saying that Swayman's bad, but I mean it's kind of a tough choice when you're going Tampa and Florida back to back. Who are you going to start in those 2 games? I'd even have a tough time deciding. I would have liked to have seen Swayman against Florida because I think Allmark started the last game. So, I mean, you play these teams because they're in your division more times to get more eyes on them. So I would like to have seen both goalies get eyes on teams like this. But at the end of the day, it's Monty's decision. Was it a bad decision? I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it wasn't. We got a point out of it. We got lucky. We should have won at the end of regulation, but the penalties killed us. We shouldn't be taking that many penalties. And from what I saw, because I was half paying attention, but they were all decent calls by the ref. They weren't like bad calls. But a couple of them were stupid penalties on the Bruins' part. So our power play, it's a broken record. They need to step up on the power play. We had, I think it was 3 power plays. We didn't get a single goal. I think we got one goal on the power play. So I mean, you need to get at least 2. If you get 3 power plays, you should get 2 power play goals in game. But you know, Tampa stepped up defensively. The Bruins didn't, and their goalie was able to make stops that when he needed to.
Yeah, I feel like the Bees come out hot a lot this season, and then take their foot off the gas towards the end, and that's what I've noticed at least. There's been some games that they won. What game were we talking about last week where they were on pace for 8 goals?
Buffalo.
Yeah,
and
the
then
Sabres
they
game.
gave up against them in the third period.
And then they started giving up goals right at the end of the third period. that was not a pretty sight. They still won that game, but it came back to bite them last night against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So big thing you want to see is just consistent play all throughout 3 periods. You're right though, the penalties against the best power play, that'll cost you.
Yeah.
That'll definitely cost you. So we'll see how the Bruins do against the Florida Panthers. They played Monday night, big night for Causeway again. We'll have to see how that goes. We'll move on to the New England Patriots in the toilet bowl.
Negative Nancy Pod today.
Patriots Giants. You got Danny DeVito and I think Mac Jones going head to head. I think it's going to be a lot of running. I think you're going to see Saquon had a really good game last week too, so you'll see some Saquon and some Stevenson. I'm hoping to lose. I'll be honest. I want that pick. I really want to lose this game.
Yeah, we're projected to get the 3rd pick right now, I think.
We have a shot to get the 1st pick.
Yeah, if the Panthers win this weekend.
Yes, playing Tennessee.
I don't even know if I want to watch this game. I don't know. We don't know who we're gonna. There's reports that say Bailey Zappi might be the starter this weekend. Could be Mac Jones. It really should be Will Grier. Like at this point, throw the kid in, see what he can do. I just don't know what to say about this team anymore. I mean, I just can't wait to rip them apart next week after the game against the Giants.
I mean, this game might single-handedly put the game back to 1945. I mean, this game is going to be... They're not going to let Danny DeVito or Panic Attack throw a ball. It does. They're not going to... They're both... It's going to be like the 3-3 Jets game where Marcus Jones... is that his name? Marcus Jones? I completely forgot about
Punt return.
Mr. Punt Return. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, this game is going to be so boring. I mean, this is the toilet bowl of toilet bowl games, and this is like 2 of the most revered franchises.
No, the worst game would be Carolina against the Patriots.
No, I think this game might be worse.
Well, the Panthers played the Bears.
At least you have like Bryce Young to watch, even though he's not that good. What am I going to go watch? Danny DeVito? Like, I mean, Mac Jones. Who am I going to watch in the Patriots? Ramondre Stevenson? I mean,
True.
Saquon Barkley looks like a shell of himself again. Like, he's good, but like, that offensive line for both teams is just awful.
All right, so combined over under 15 turnovers.
I'm 15.
What if we did the
turnovers.
points?
That's what I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see over under on the points.
It's probably like
I'm gonna see this.
15 points,
I'm gonna see.
or maybe 10.
The over under is 33.5.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm taking the under
All
on
right,
that one.
What are the books even thinking?
Yeah. What?
I mean, do the Giants have like a good defense?
Yes.
Because I know the Patriots are kind of.
Okay, so here it is. Danny DeVito in 2.5 games has 506 yards, 6 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, and an 88.9 quarterback rating. Mac Jones has 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and an 80 quarterback rating. So therefore, Mr. Danny DeVito is playing better than Mac Jones, which is I didn't know Danny DeVito was actually a good quarterback. I mean, he's not a good quarterback, but that just shows how bad Mac Jones has been this year.
Well, I think with Danny DeVito, he's not afraid to throw the ball, and he's not afraid to get hit. He throws it. He gets sacked. He gets hit a lot, but he doesn't freak out. He still throws the ball. Whereas Mac is just frail.
Back foot. He's back foot. He throws everything off the back foot.
He's the Clay Buchholz of the Patriots. He's the head case.
Don't you dare make fun of Clay Buchholz.
That is an insult to compare Clay Buchholz to Mac Jones.
He's got a lot of things going on upstairs, I think.
Did Mac Jones ever go 13-0 in 2013?
Or have
an absolutely slicked back hairstyle? No, I didn't think so. Or possibly a Vaseline on his elbow during the start.
Never forget the no-hitter.
Boy.
Mac Jones couldn't do anything close to that. No, but I think the Patriots have the one spot where they can win is the coaching matchup. I think Dayball is being exposed right now, and I think Belichick is good. I think his team just really sucks. I think the GM screwed the coach.
Yes.
Bill Belichick, the GM, screwed Bill Belichick, the coach, so hard that now Bill Belichick, the coach, is going to leave.
But I keep hearing it's Matt Groh's fault because Bill cannot get any criticism.
That's true.
All these writers, they're going, oh, well, Matt Groh wanted to get faster. Well, Bill has the last decision. He can.
Yeah.
He didn't have to draft Tyquan Thornton.
Oh, that's brutal. That whole draft.
Then Trent McDuffie. He could have drafted Trent McDuffie, but instead he decides to move back and take a 4th-round prospect, Cole Strange.
Yep.
I mean,
first round. No, it's. And then Jack Jones isn't on the team anymore.
Yep. He's so desperate he has to take J.C. Jackson, who doesn't show up to meetings, doesn't show up to the facility. Trent Brown does the same thing. Like,
yep. They award players that are head cases and messed up, as opposed to rewarding players that actually play hard. Like, as much as I make fun of Miles Bryant and how much he sucks, like, he actually tries. He's out there trying. Jabril Peppers is actually a really good player. Is actually really trying.
Most underrated player in this game.
Yeah, but the Patriots are rewarding incentives to Trent Brown, and they're bringing back J.C. Jackson, and they're keeping Jack Jones around for as long as they have. When they're causing trouble. It's really something to see. It really is a sight.
Why did you bring Jack Jones to Germany? Like, what's the point of that? You don't bring J.C. Jackson, but you keep him around. You bring Jack Jones.
And then you cut him.
Yeah, then you cut him. What is the point? Like, there's no sense to it.
Yeah.
You still don't have a free safety, too. That still hasn't been. I thought Jalen Mills was going to be that, or Adrian Phillips. They play like 20% of the plays each.
Yeah, they're always running like a corner in the.
It's like it doesn't work.
It does not work. It's a mess. The line is a mess. The offensive line and the and Keon White really has not been that good so far.
Big preseason.
Yeah, huge in preseason, but I have not been impressed so far with him.
He just mean mugs everybody.
Judon and Gonzalez going down early in the season.
That killed him.
But the thing that
it exposed them.
But the thing is, though,
true.
Judon got hurt at the end of that Cowboys game. You still lost 38-3 with him.
Yeah, but
or 35-3 or whatever. Like he got hurt with 4 minutes left in that game.
Yeah, but imagine what you could be doing to all these other teams.
No, but I'm saying, like, it's not like they didn't have problems before Judon and Gonzalez were there. The offense still looked putrid. The defense, I think, was an injury or two away, which it was, from just not being good. This depth is not good. Bill was famous for always having depth on his team, especially on each line. Now he doesn't. He has to start City, so he's just not ready.
The next man up mentality is not existent with the Patriots. When a guy goes down and you have an opportunity to step up and get a job in the league, you're not seeing it. You're not seeing it at all. People are just shriveling up, and now it's just about trying to stay healthy for next season.
I just have one more point. I keep hearing Pop Douglas, oh, he's this great receiver. Oh, he needs to get more touches. I don't understand why they're not giving him more touches. The guy is the most electric guy in that offense by a mile. Same with Zeke. Him and Zeke. Every time they touch the ball, something good happens. Zeke gets like 5 carries a game. I don't understand him. Pop Douglas gets like 3 catches a game. Why don't you get him on some end arounds or something? I don't understand. Get some electricity into the offense. Get some big plays, because you're not getting it in the passing game.
Well, it was the same with Kendrick Bourne last season too.
Yeah,
he was in the
Kendrick Bourne that Bills game catches like a 50-yard pass, then just isn't in the rest of the game. Like, what is the point? You're just not making sense with all this stuff.
I think they're trying to validate the contracts to Devontae Parker and Juju Smith-Schuster.
Parker has 2 concussions this year.
Run-of-the-mill free agents that they got, journeymen, but they want to make it look good because meanwhile Jacoby Myers is going crazy in Vegas. They're just paying the wrong guys. The GM situation is a total train wreck. So I hope they lose.
Yeah, I'm hoping they lose every game.
All I care about. I want the pick. If we get the pick, I'll take it.
I saw a tweet. This will be the last thing. You have Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake May, and Caleb Williams on the clock. And you're on the clock. I mean, who would you take?
MHJ.
Who would you take?
I would take Junior too.
I would take Drake May.
I understand going for the quarterback, especially Drake May over Caleb, because Caleb seems like a head case.
Has a character issues that I don't know about.
And I don't think he'd survive here. And I'm too exhausted with what we've been dealing with as Patriots fans to now bring in a Caleb Williams and watch him just implode.
See, my thing though with drafting a quarterback is we would need to sign like some kind of veteran quarterback, like we talked about earlier this year, like somebody that they can go to and be like, all right, so what did
put
you
him
see
in
on
front
the
of the
field?
Well, they had Brian Hoyer, but he said that Matt Patricia didn't know how to run an offense, so he let him go.
I think you still take a quarterback in the second round, or you trade up to
Jaden
late in the
Daniels.
first round. J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Daniels.
Even a Penix, I wouldn't mind a Penix. I have a lefty quarterback.
Penix or Bo Nix, those are guys that you can get if you trade up for another pick in the first round. It would be a huge mistake to take Michael Penix at like pick 4 or pick 5. That would kill you.
I think he's 25. Yeah, I think he's 25.
But there are Patriots fans who are like, I'll take Bo Nix in the first round.
Nope.
Like with my number 5 overall pick. No, that would kill you. If you fall to 5, take the best tackle. There are many issues.
That guy from Penn State, I cannot pronounce his name, unfortunately, but there's a guy from Penn State. He is absolutely insane. I watched him in the Michigan game against the Penn State. I mean, he just bodies edge rushers. He's a big guy, NFL-ready body. I mean, that's the type of guy, or a Brock Bowers from Georgia, that's the type of guy who you need to get if you fall to 5 or 6. You can't move down either. You need a top-end prospect.
Yeah, and I think Marvin Harrison's the best player in the draft. I've seen what Jamar Chase did for the Bengals and what Jefferson's doing for the Vikings. We need that blue chip. We need that blue chip talent.
Another guy who's going under the radar is Roma Duze. He's from Washington. He has basically the same stats as a Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think he has as high of a ceiling, but I mean, that's another guy. If Marvin Harrison gets taken 1st or 2nd overall, if you're at 5, 6, or 7, that's another guy you could look at.
It's a pass league right now. It's a passing league. The Patriots don't throw the ball.
They need to modernize it.
They need to get a grip and move into 2020.
Reel it in. Come on.
2023. Come on, Patriots. Let's go.
Yeah, imagine having Harrison on the offense and Gonzalez on the defense. I mean,
those are 2 rock
that
star
blue
picks.
chip,
it would
young.
be insane.
That's like Tatum and if you had a better version of Brown. Like, I'm talking 2 elite blue chip players
that are controllable for like 3 more years, 4 more years.
And they're gonna be pillars for the franchise. Like, look at the Jets with Wilson and Gardner. We need something like that to build around. So then you get the court. You find out, draft a rookie, put a veteran in front of him, and work like that. Hopefully it's an exciting time for the draft. That's what we're looking forward to, the draft. Hopefully we get there. We'll see. Patriots gotta lose this game. We'll see how it goes.
Have to lose.
Take care, everybody, in a must-loss this Sunday.
Game.
Have a great day, everyone.